Muscles. All of our muscles together make up what's called the muscular system. The muscular system includes all of the muscles inside of our bodies. We have over 600 muscles that we use every day. All of our muscles have different functions. Some of them work with our control, and some of them work on their own. Muscles versus bones. Earlier in the year, we talked about our bones, which are in what's called the skeletal system. Although they may seem like they are the same, muscles and bones are not the same and they do different things. Bones are very hard and are used to help us stand up and protect some of our muscles. If we didn't have bones, we would be just a pile of muscles and skin on the floor. So if we look over here, we can see a picture of the skeleton. This is what our bones look like inside of our body versus our muscles over here. If you go and you tap your knee, you can tap your knee or tap your elbow, you can feel it's very hard. Our bones are very hard and they help us stand up and they help protect different parts of our bodies. Muscles, on the other hand, are used mostly to help us move around and move different parts of our bodies. We have over 600 muscles to help us move and function every day. Muscles are a lot softer than our bones and are made of a special material called tissues. If we didn't have any muscles, we would just be a skeleton with skin covering it and wouldn't be able to move or pick things up. My favorite things to do with my muscles are to play hockey, lift weights, go swimming at the beach, and eat yummy foods. What are your favorite things to do with your muscles? So if we look over here, we can see a picture of all the muscles that are covering the bones. They're soft, made of a special material called tissues. And then over here on this side are the bones that are very hard that help us stand up. Muscles are what help us move around and move things. If we didn't have muscles, we wouldn't be able to move around. Some of our muscles we can control ourselves. These are called voluntary muscles. Some examples of voluntary muscles are our tongues, our biceps, which are muscles in our arms, our quadriceps, which are muscles in our legs, and deltoids, which are the muscles in our shoulders. If you are able to use a muscle and control it yourself, then it is called a voluntary muscle. So if we look up here, it's a picture of our bicep or muscle in our arms. We're able to control that, so it's called a voluntary muscle. Just like down here, I have a picture of our quadricep muscles. Those are muscles in our legs. We can control our legs like when we do running, playing soccer, or swimming, or running. So those are called voluntary muscles. Or when we eat our food, or just like how I'm talking right now, I'm using my muscles to move my mouth. Those are also voluntary muscles. If I wiggle my toes or wiggle my fingers, those are voluntary muscles because I am controlling them. Some of our muscles, however, are special and can work without us controlling them or thinking about them. These kind of muscles are called involuntary muscles. Some examples of involuntary muscles include our heart, stomach, and intestines. Our heart is a very important involuntary muscle because it is in charge of pumping our blood throughout our body. Since our heart works without us controlling it, it is called an involuntary muscle. It is always pumping our blood throughout the day and throughout our body, whether we are sleeping, doing our schoolwork, or exercising, and it does so without us needing to control it. You can feel your heart pumping your blood if you put your hand over the middle of your chest. You may have felt your heart beating really fast if you put your hand over your heart after you're finished exercising. So I have a picture up here. This is what the human heart looks like. Our heart is always pumping blood throughout the day and throughout the night so that we can live. It is a very strong and voluntary muscle. We want to take good care of it. Since we don't control it, it's called involuntary. It works while we're doing our schoolwork and while we're sleeping. We don't control it like we might control the muscles in our arms and our legs. Another involuntary muscle is our stomach. So when food goes into our stomach is a muscle that holds our food and helps to break it down. We don't control our stomach, so that is called an involuntary muscle. It works on its own. Keeping our muscles healthy, we want to make sure we keep our muscles very healthy just like the rest of our body. One thing we can do to keep our muscles healthy is by exercising. By exercising, we are making our muscles work harder, which makes them get bigger, stronger, and healthier. A second thing we can do is to make sure we eat enough healthy foods every day. Healthy foods have vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients that can help our muscles grow and stay healthy. Foods that contain protein are the best for our muscles. Some popular foods that contain protein include meat products like chicken, beef, and ham. Peanut butter and tofu are non-meat products which also contain protein. Drinking enough water is also important, especially when we are exercising. A third thing we can do to make sure our muscles stay healthy is we make sure we get enough sleep each night. We use different muscles all throughout the day and they can get tired and need time to rest. When we sleep, we are giving our muscles time to relax and get ready for the next day. So I have a picture of a friend eating healthy foods. We want to make sure we're eating healthy foods, drinking enough water every day. Foods with the ingredient protein, like things with meat or peanut butter or tofu, are foods that are going to help our muscles the best. We have friends exercising over here. When we exercise, we're using our muscles and making them bigger and stronger. And we also want to make sure we sleep enough every single night so we're not tired and our muscles aren't tired. We want to make sure they rest and are ready to go for the next day. Flexibility. The last thing we can do to keep our muscles healthy and strong is by stretching them. Last week we talked about the component of fitness called flexibility. This is making sure we stretch our muscles so they don't get too stiff. Stretching our muscles makes them stronger and more flexible so we can move around better. A lot of people like to work on their stretching before and after they exercise. Another popular activity that people like to do to help with their flexibility is to do yoga. Yoga is when people practice different stretching poses to help with the stretching of different muscles. So you see a picture up here of people doing yoga. This is called a yoga instructor. She's in charge of running the yoga class, and we see them stretching all of their different muscles, doing different poses. And then we see another lady down here who looks like she's stretching her muscles before she goes and exercises. So we want to make sure we stretch our muscles because they can get stiff if we don't really stretch them too much, and we can hurt them if we start playing and don't stretch them very well. So we want to make sure we stretch them carefully, not too hard, but we want to make sure we do it because they can get really stiff and then we can't move around very well. So make sure stretching our muscles to keep them healthy as well. So to review, we have over 600 muscles in our bodies to help us move around and move different parts of our bodies. Muscles and bones are not the same. Bones are very hard and help us stand up. Muscles help us move our body. Muscles are also soft and made out of a special material called tissues. Bones are more hard. Some muscles are called voluntary muscles. This means we can control them ourselves. Some examples include muscles in our arms and our legs. So voluntary muscles are the muscles we think about most of the time, the ones that we move around with and we can move with our control, like our neck and in our back and our jaw and our mouth and with our tongue, with our feet and our legs and our fingers. Other muscles are called involuntary muscles. These include muscles that work without us thinking about them. Some examples include our heart and our stomach. So we also have involuntary muscles, which are muscles that work without us thinking about them or controlling them. We said our heart is a very important involuntary muscle because it pumps our blood. It works all throughout the day and night without our control and us thinking about it. Same with our stomach. Our stomach also works without our control either. They are called involuntary muscles. We want to make sure we take extra care of our muscles so they stay healthy and we can get big and strong. Exercising every day and eating healthy foods will help our muscles to grow big and strong and stay healthy. Foods with protein in them help the best with our muscles. We also want to make sure we are drinking enough water each day, especially when we're exercising. We want to make sure we get enough sleep at night also so that our muscles can relax and recover. We don't want to have tired muscles every single day. Lastly, we want to make sure we stretch our muscles as well. If we don't ever stretch our muscles and work on our flexibility, then our muscles can get stiff and we will not be able to move around as much.